Listen to me. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is the price you pay for greatness. Everybody wants success. Everybody wants to win, but not everybody wants to go through the pain it takes to get there. Pain is the gatekeeper. It's standing between where you are and where you want to be. If you want to be successful, if you want to live at the next level, you got to push through pain. You got to fight when you don't feel like fighting. Keep going when your body is screaming to stop, and push when your mind says quit. The difference between those who make it and those who don't is simple. The ones who make it are willing to endure what others are not. They don't run from pain. They embrace it. They use pain as fuel. And when the storm is over, they come out stronger, sharper, and unstoppable. So the question is, are you willing to push through your pain? Because on the other side of pain is your promise. Pain is temporary. Greatness is forever. You've got to let that sink into your spirit, into your bones, into your very soul. Because too many of you are letting the temporary feelings of pain dictate your permanent destiny. You wake up, you feel tired, you feel sore, you feel like it's too much, and you give in. But I'm here to tell you that the pain you're running from is the same pain that is shaping you, molding, preparing you for the greatness you've been praying for. The pain you're experiencing today has an expiration date, but the greatness waiting on the other side will last your entire lifetime and beyond. You have to understand, pain is not a punishment. It's not like being unfair to you. It's not the universe trying to break you. Pain is the cost of admission for greatness. Nobody wakes up one day at the top of their field, at the top of their craft, or at the top of their game without going through sleepless nights, sore muscles, tears, rejection, failure, and countless moments when they thought about quitting. Pain is temporary, but quitting makes it last forever. Because when you quit, that regret follows you. That what if haunts you. That dream that never came to pass becomes a ghost in your life, reminding you of what you could have been. But if you just endure, if you just push a little further, you'll discover that pain doesn't last forever. It breaks, it fades, it passes, and on the other side is strength, wisdom, resilience, and greatness. Think about it. Every struggle you've gone through up until this point, every painful situation, every broken heart, every failure you couldn't survive, where is it now? It's gone. You lived through it. You thought it would kill you while still standing. That's proof that pain is temporary. But you know what's still here. The lessons you learned, the character it built, the scars that remind you of your strength. That's forever. And if you can understand that in the moment of suffering, you'll be unstoppable. Because while others are crying, complaining, and quitting, you'll be grinding, pushing, and growing. Let me be clear. Greatness requires sacrifice. It requires you to be uncomfortable. It requires you to give up things you love. Step away from what's easy, to endure loneliness, to stay disciplined when everybody else is living wild. That hurts. That's painful, but that pain is shaping you. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're writing a story that will last forever. Every time you choose to grind over giving in, you're building a legacy that will outlive you. People won't remember the pain you went through, but they will remember the greatness you achieved. Nobody talks about the nights Muhammad Ali couldn't sleep because his body was in pain from training. They don't talk about the mornings Kobe Bryant's knees were swollen and aching. They don't talk about how many times Oprah was told a no before she became who she is. What do they remember? The greatness, the championships, the legacy. Because pain is temporary, but greatness is forever. You have to change your relationship with pain. Stop seeing it as an enemy and start seeing it as a teacher. Pain is trying to tell you something. It's saying, if you can outlast me, if you can survive me, I'll reward you with strength, with growth, with wisdom. Pain is like a toll booth on the road to greatness. You gotta pay the price to pass. Too many of you want the dream, but you don't want to pay the toll. You want success without sacrifice, achievement without adversity, rewards without the work. That's not how it works. If you run from pain, you run from greatness. If you embrace pain, you embrace your destiny. Think about an athlete in the gym. They lift weights, and what happens? Their muscles tear. That hurts, it burns. But if they stop because of the pain, they never grow. If they keep going, those torn fibers rebuild themselves stronger, bigger, more powerful. That's life. That's your dream. Every time you push past your breaking point, every time you endure one more set, one more rep, one more mile, you're building something that will last forever. But if you quit, you'll never know how strong you could have been. And I know what you're thinking, but it hurts too much. It's too hard. I don't know if I can handle it. Let me tell you something. You are stronger than you think. Your body will quit before your mind does. Your feelings will try to betray you. Your emotions will scream at you to stop. But greatness doesn't care about your feeling. Greatness is waiting on the other side of that pain. And you got to decide if you want to listen to your emotions or if you want to listen to your purpose. Feelings come and go, but purpose is forever. Pain comes and goes, but greatness is forever. When you push through pain, you gain something that no money, no material possession, no shortcut can give you. Pride. The pride of knowing you didn't quit. The pride of knowing you paid the full price. The pride of knowing you endured the storm and came out with something eternal. Pain gives you a story, and your story inspires others. People may never see the tears you cried or the battles you fought, but they will see your victory, and your victory will speak louder than any pain you endured. So here's my challenge to you. Stop running from pain. Stop looking for the easy way out. Stop waiting for everything to feel good before you take action. Life doesn't reward comfort. Life rewards courage. And courage is when you move forward in the face of pain, not in the absence of it. You've got to decide that your dream is worth the struggle, that your purpose is worth the sacrifice, that your legacy is worth the pain. Because one day the pain will end, the soreness will fade, the exhaustion will pass, the tears will dry. But the greatness you achieve, the legacy you leave, the lives you impact, that will last forever. People won't remember the nights you cried yourself to sleep, but they'll remember the dream you built. They won't remember the sweat dripping from your face, but they'll remember the change you created. They won't remember the pain, but they'll remember the greatness. So don't you dare quit. Don't you dare stop. Don't you dare let temporary pain rob you of permanent greatness. Push through it, endure it, embrace it, because pain is temporary, but greatness is forever. Your breakthrough is on the other side of pain. That means right now, the thing you've been waiting for, the thing you've been grinding for, the thing you've been praying for, it's not far away. It's not hidden in some unreachable place. It's not locked behind some impossible door. It's right there, just on the other side of the pain you're feeling right now. The reason most people never get to their breakthrough is because they stop in the middle of the pain. They feel the heat, they feel the pressure, they feel the discomfort, and instead of pushing through, they back up, they retreat. But if you would just keep moving, if you would just take one more step, if you would just endure a little longer, you would discover that your breakthrough has been waiting for you the entire time. Every level in life comes with a wall. That wall is pain. That wall is struggle. That wall is adversity. But walls aren't built to stop you. Walls are built to test how badly you want what's on the other side. If the wall of pain wasn't there, anybody could walk into success. Anybody could walk into greatness. But pain is the filter. Pain is what separates those who say they want it from those who really want it. You don't get the breakthrough without the breaking. You don't get the reward without the resistance. You don't get the promise without the process. And the process hurts. The process is painful. But if you endure the process, you'll walk into the promise. Think about it. A seed has to break through the dirt before it can become a tree. A baby has to push through the birth canal before it can enter the world. Gold has to go through fire before it shines. Your dream, your vision, your calling has to go through pain before it can manifest. The breakthrough doesn't come before the pain, it comes after. That's the order. That's the law. You can't skip the suffering and still get the success. You can't avoid the pain and still reach the promise. You have to push through. And here's what makes pain so powerful. It tricks you into thinking you're finished when you're not. It convinces you that you've reached your limit when in reality you still have so much more left inside of you. Pain is like a guard dog standing in front of the door to your destiny, barking, snarling, trying to intimidate you. And most people get scared and walk away. But what they don't realize is that if they just step forward with courage, that pain will move out of the way and the breakthrough will be theirs. You have to make up in your mind that no matter how bad it hurts, no matter how tired you are, no matter how heavy the load feels, you're not going to stop until you reach the other side. You have to tell yourself, I didn't come this far just to stop in the middle. I didn't sacrifice this much just to give up when it got hard. I didn't cry these tears I didn't put in these hours. I didn't suffer this long just to walk away empty-handed. You owe it to yourself to keep going until you get to your breakthrough. The problem is too many people quit 5 minutes before the miracle happens. They give up just a little too soon. They stop pushing when the conscience gets painful. They let go when the weight gets heavy. And what they don't realize is that they were one step away, one day away, one more push away from the very thing they've been waiting for their whole lives. Don't let that be you. Don't let pain rob you of your promise. Don't let struggle steal your success. Your breakthrough is right there. You got to push through, and don't get it twisted. The breakthrough isn't just about you. It's about the people who are waiting on you to step into your calling. It's about the family that's depending on you. It's about the lives you're supposed to impact. Somebody's freedom is on the other side of your pain. Somebody's hope is on the other side of your breakthrough. When you stop in the middle of pain, you're not just cheating yourself. You're cheating everybody connected to your purpose. That's why you can't quit. That's why you can't give in. Because what you're carrying is too important. Yes, the pain is real. Yes, the struggle is real. Yes, it hurts. But you gotta shift your perspective. Instead of seeing pain as something that's breaking you, see it as something that's birthing you. Instead of seeing it as something that's stopping you, see it as something that's shaping you. Every tear you cry is watering the seed of your dream. Every sleepless night is laying the foundation for your breakthrough. Every no you hear is building your resilience for the day you finally hear yes. None of it is wasted. Every ounce of pain has a purpose. Think about the caterpillar. Before it becomes a butterfly, it has to struggle inside the cocoon. That cocoon feels like a prison. It's dark, it's tight, it's uncomfortable. But that struggle is necessary because it strengthens the wings. If someone cuts the cocoon open too soon, the butterfly dies because its wings never develop the strength to fly. That's exactly what pain does for you. It gives you the strength to handle the breakthrough that's coming. Because what good is it to get the dream if you're not strong enough to carry it? What good is it to receive the promise if you don't have the resilience to protect it? Pain builds you for the blessing. The cocoon prepares you for the sky. So don't despise your pain. Don't curse your struggle. Don't run from your trials. Embrace them. Learn from them. Because they're not here to destroy you. They're here to deliver you to your breakthrough. The storm is not permanent. The night doesn't last forever. The darkness always gives way to the light. But you got to endure until the morning comes. I need you to stop looking at the pain as the end and start looking at it as the bridge. Pain is not the destination, it's the pathway. The only way to get to the promise is to walk through the pain. And if you're willing to keep walking, to keep moving, to keep pushing, you'll find yourself standing in the middle of your breakthrough, looking back at the pain and realizing it was worth every second. So don't stop. Don't quit. Don't give up. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. It's not miles away, it's inches away. It's not years away, it's moments away. But only if you push through the pain. Only if you refuse to quit. Only if you decide that the struggle is not going to break you, but make you. Your breakthrough is on the other side of pain. And when you get there, when you finally taste it, when you finally step into it, you'll realize that the pain wasn't punishment, it was preparation. And you'll look back and say, it was hard. It hurt, but it was worth it. And from that day forward, you'll understand that every time pain shows up in your life, it's not the end. It's the sign that a breakthrough is coming. Discipline hurts less than regret. That's a truth you have to carry with you every single day if you want to live a life of meaning, a life of purpose, a life where you can look yourself in the mirror with pride. See, discipline is painful. Nobody's going to sugarcoat that. Waking up earlier than you want, saying no to distractions, choosing the grind over the party, hitting the gym when you're sore, studying when your friends are relaxing, saving money when you rather spend it. It doesn't feel good in the moment. It doesn't give you instant gratification. It doesn't give you the easy road. But here's the difference. The pain of discipline is temporary, it's light, it's temporary, it's light, it's manageable. The pain of regret, that pain is heavy, it's permanent, and will crush you if you. Regret is the kind of pain that lingers. Discipline stings for a moment, but regret haunts you for a lifetime. Discipline makes you uncomfortable now, so you can live free later. Regret makes you comfortable now, but imprisons you later. Think about it. Every time you choose discipline, you're invested in a future you'll be proud of. Every time you avoid discipline, you're setting yourself up for a future filled with the what ifs, is. And let me tell you something, nothing hurts more than looking back on your life and realizing you could have been more, you could have done more, you could have achieved more, but you didn't because you weren't willing to be disciplined. The pain of discipline is measured in minutes, hours, maybe days. The pain of regret is measured in years, decades, lifetime. Discipline is making a hard choice today so you can live with joy tomorrow. Regret is making the easy choice today and being forced to live with sorrow tomorrow. The question is, which pain do you want to carry? Because make no mistake, you're going to carry pain either way. Life doesn't give you an option to avoid pain. The only choice you get is the kind of pain you're willing to endure. Discipline or regret. One will shape you, one will break you. One will lift you up, one will tear you down. Look at athletes, artists, entrepreneurs, anyone who has achieved greatness. Every single one of them has had to embrace the pain of discipline, hours of practice, sleepless nights, strict routines, missed parties, lost relationships, sacrifice after sacrifice after sacrifice. It hurt. It was uncomfortable. But that discipline gave birth to greatness. Now look at the people who ran from discipline. The ones who wanted shortcuts, who wanted the easy way. What do they carry today? Regret. They regret not giving their all in school. They regret not taking their craft seriously. They regret not building the business when they had the chance. They regret not taking care of their health. They regret the time they wasted. And that regret doesn't go away. You can't escape it. It follows you, whispers in your ear at night, weighs on your shoulders in the morning. Discipline hurts, yes. But it's a clean pain. It's a pain that produces. It's a pain that leads somewhere. When you wake up early to train, it hurts in a moment. But later you feel stronger, sharper, proud of yourself. When you choose to study instead of watching TV, it hurts in the moment. But later you pass the exam. You graduate, you move forward in life. When you save money instead of spending it recklessly, it hurts in the moment. But later you have financial freedom. That pain leads to rewards. Regret, on the other hand, is a dirty pain. It doesn't produce anything but sorrow. It doesn't build you. It breaks you. It doesn't make you stronger. It makes you bitter. And here's the thing about regret. It's not just about you. When you choose the pain of regret by avoiding discipline, you don't just hurt yourself. You hurt everyone connected to you, your family, your children, your community. Because regret means you never reach your full potential. And when you don't reach your potential, the people who are supposed to benefit from your gift, your greatness, your purpose, they suffer too. Somebody out there needs the best version of you, but if you choose the easy road, if you run from discipline, they never get to see it. That's not just regret, that's responsibility. Discipline requires sacrifice, but that sacrifice is temporary. Yes, you'll have to say no to things you want right now. But what you gain will be so much greater. Regret requires no sacrifice in the moment, but it steals everything later. It robs you of peace, of joy, of pride, of legacy. You can't escape the bill life gives you. If you don't pay with discipline now, you will pay with regret later. And the bill for regret always costs more. So how do you avoid regret? You embrace discipline. You make up your mind that you will endure the short-term pain for the long-term gain. You remind yourself every day that's supposed to hurt a little. Growth doesn't come from comfort. Success doesn't come from easy choices. Discipline is supposed to stretch you, push you, challenge you. Every time you feel that sting of discipline, smile because it means you're moving in the right direction. That pain is the proof that you're growing. And when the temptation comes to take the easy road, to quit, to slack off, you have to ask yourself one question. Do I want the pain of discipline now or the pain of regret later? Do I want to hurt for a moment or hurt for a lifetime? Do I want to look back with pride or back with pride, with sorrow? Because those are the choices. And once the moment is gone, once the opportunity passes, you can't go back. You can't rewind time. You can't undo regret. You'll carry with you forever. Imagine yourself years from now. Imagine looking back on today. Do you want to look back and say, I'm glad I endured that discipline? I'm glad I pushed through. I'm glad I sacrificed because now I'm living the life I dreamed of. Or do you want to look back and say, I wish I had tried harder. I wish I had been more disciplined. I wish I hadn't wasted my chance. That vision alone should be enough to make you choose discipline every single time. The truth is, nobody escapes discipline. If you don't discipline yourself, life will do it for you. If you don't discipline your body will break down. If you don't discipline your finances will collapse. If you don't discipline your habits will control you. Discipline is not optional, it's inevitable. The only question is, will you take control of it now, or will you let life force it on you later in the form of regret? So yes, discipline hurts. It's supposed to. But when you understand the alternative, when you realize the weight of regret, you'll gladly take the sting of discipline over the chains of regret. You'll gladly wake up early, put in the work, sacrifice the comfort, because you know that in the end, discipline will set you free, but regret will lock you up. Discipline hurts less than regret. Never forget that. When you're sore, when you're tired, when you're tempted to quit, remind yourself that the pain you're feeling right now is nothing compared to the pain of looking back one day and realizing you wasted your life. Endure the momentary discomfort so you can live a lifetime of pride. Carry the small weight of discipline so you don't have to carry the crushing weight of regret. And every day, every decision, every choice, ask yourself, which pain am I choosing today? Because the answer to that question will determine the rest of your life. Pain builds strength. That is something most people don't understand, because we live in a world that teaches us to avoid pain, to run from discomfort, to seek the easiest and quickest path to whatever we want. But the truth is, nothing great has ever been built without pain. Nothing powerful has ever been developed in comfort. If you want strength, if you want resilience, if you want to be unshakable, you have to go through pain. You can't buy strength. You can't buy strength. You can't borrow it. You can't. Strength is forged in the fire of adversity, in the heat of struggle, in the weight of pain. Think about it. A muscle doesn't grow unless it's torn. When you lift weights, you are literally tearing your muscle fibers. That's painful. It burns. It aches. But when those fibers heal, they grow back stronger, thicker, more powerful. That's how strength is built, through pain, through resistance, through stress. Life works the same way. Every setback you face, every hardship you endure, every obstacle you overcome is like a weight being added to the bar. It feels heavy. It feels like it's crushing you. But if you push through it, if you endure, you come out stronger than you were before. Pain is not just a part of the process. Pain is the process. Without pain, there's no strength. When you understand that, you stop running from pain. You stop resenting it. Instead, you start embracing it. You start seeing pain as a teacher, as a trainer, as a gift. Every time life knocks you down, you realize it's not trying to break you, it's trying to build you. Every time you feel like giving up, you realize that's the exact moment when strength is being formed. You don't get stronger when it's easy, you get stronger when it's hard. You don't get tougher when things go your way. You get tougher when nothing seems to work, and you keep moving forward anyway. The strongest people you know, the ones you admire, the ones who inspire you, they didn't become that way by avoiding pain. They became that way by enduring it. They went through heartbreak, betrayal, failure, rejection, loss, struggle. Instead of letting it destroy them, they let it shape them. They chose to use pain as fuel instead of as a prison. And that's why they stand tall today. They've been tested, and the testing gave them strength. Look at nature. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Trees grow their deepest roots in the toughest storm. Mountains are carved by years of relentless erosion. Strength is always the result of pressure, resistance, and pain. You are no different. Every time you go through something that hurts, something that stretches you, something that challenges you, you are being carved into something greater, something stronger, something unshakable. But here's the problem. Most people quit before the strength can develop. They feel the pain and they stop. They face resistance and they retreat. They see the weight and they walk away. And because they never endure the pain, they never gain the strength. They stay weak, fragile, and unprepared for life's challenges. That's why you can't quit in the middle of the pain. You have to push through it, because on the other side of that pain is the strength you've been searching for. Let me break it down even further. Pain tests you. Pain asks you, how bad do you want it? Pain asks you, will you endure me or will you run? And your answer determines who you become. If you quit, you stay the same. If you endure, you transform. Pain is the doorway to a stronger version of yourself, but only if you walk through it. You can't tiptoe around it. You can't take shortcuts. You can't bargain with it. You have to go through it. When you start to embrace pain as a builder of strength, something amazing happens. You stop fearing it. You stop complaining about it. You start using it. Every failure becomes a lesson. Every rejection becomes redirection. Every loss becomes preparation. You start to realize that the very things you thought were breaking, you were actually building you. That's when you stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as a warrior. That's when you realize strength isn't about avoiding battles. It's about surviving them and coming out stronger. And strength is not just physical. Pain builds emotional strength. It builds mental toughness. It builds spiritual resilience. When life breaks your heart and you keep moving, you build emotional strength. When you fail over and over, but refuse to quit, you build mental strength. When you go through storms that shake your soul, but you still believe, you build spiritual strength. Every type of strength comes from pain. That's why you should never waste your pain. Don't go through it for nothing. Don't suffer in vain. Let the pain shape you into someone unbreakable. I know you want life to be easy. I know you wish you could get stronger without going through struggles. But that's not how it works. Easy never builds anything worth having. If you avoid pain, you avoid growth. If you avoid struggle, you avoid strength. You can't have both. You can't ask for strength while praying for an easy life. Strength only comes from hard lives, tough choices, painful journeys. The ones who are strong today are the ones who endured yesterday. So the next time you're in pain, don't just cry. Don't just complain. Don't just ask. Why me? Ask yourself, what is this building in me? What strength is this pain producing? Then embrace it. Lean into it. Push through it. Because one day you're going to look back at the pain you endured and realize it was the foundation of the strength you now carry. You'll realize that every tear was watering your growth. Every sleepless night was preparing your mind. Every setback was building your resilience. And once you built that strength, nobody can take it from you. Circumstances can change, money can come and go, people can leave, but strength stays with you. That's why pain is such a gift, because it gives you something eternal. It gives you the kind of strength that carries you through the rest of your life, the kind of strength that no storm can destroy, no enemy can defeat, no obstacle can stop. So don't fear pain. Don't run from it. Don't despise it. Embrace it. Use it. Let it shape you. Because pain builds strength, and strength builds greatness. And the stronger you are, the higher you can climb, the further you can go, the more impact you can make. Pain is not here to destroy you. It's here to build you into everything you were meant to be. Pain is one of the greatest teachers in life, and it carries with it a message that cannot be ignored. To many, pain feels like the enemy. It feels like something that should be avoided at all costs, a barrier that stands in the way of progress and happiness. But if you look deeper, if you open your heart and mind to what pain is really offering, you'll see that pain is not there to break you. It is there to shape you, to mold you, and to prepare you for the greatness that lies ahead. Pain delivers lessons that comfort never could. Comfort whispers lies of ease and satisfaction, but pain shouts the truth about discipline, resilience, and the reality of growth. When you push through pain, you are not just enduring suffering, you are learning lessons that will stay with you for a lifetime. Think about the moments in your life when you face something truly difficult. Maybe it was a loss, maybe it was rejection, maybe it was failure. In those moments, pain forced you to make choices. Did you give up or did you rise? Did you allow pain to paralyze you, or did you allow it to teach you how strong you really are? Every time you pushed through, you didn't just survive, you gained wisdom. You gain insight about yourself, about your limits, about your untapped potential. You learn that pain has a purpose. It strips away your illusions and exposes your weaknesses, not to embarrass you, but to show you what needs to be strengthened. Pain also teaches patience. In today's world, we want everything fast. We want instant success, instant gratification, instant results, but life doesn't work that way. Pain reminds us that growth is a process. Just like a muscle only grows after it's been torn down and rebuilt, your character only develops after it's been tested through hardship. You cannot become stronger without going through the process of being stretched, torn, and rebuilt. Pain slows you down and makes you wait, but in that waiting, you learn discipline, You learn how to keep going when progress is invisible. You learn to trust the process even when it hurts. One of the most powerful lessons pain teaches is empathy. Until you've been through something, it's easy to judge others, to dismiss their struggles, to assume that life is easy for them if they just try to. Harder, once you've tasted pain, you begin to understand. You begin to see people differently. That heartbreak you went through, it helps you comfort someone else going through theirs. That failure you endured, it gives you compassion for the person standing at rock bottom. Pain makes you more human, more connected, more aware that life is not just about you. It broadens your perspective and allows you to see the shared struggles that unite us all. Pain also builds humility. When life knocks you down, it strips away arrogance. It shows you that you're not invincible, that you don't have all the answers, that you still have room to grow. This humility is not weakness. It is strength. Because when you're humble, you are teachable. You are willing to listen, to learn, to adapt. Without humility, you get stuck. You think you already know everything, and that's when you stop growing. But pain shatters that illusion and reminds you that life will always have more to teach. There's also the lesson of gratitude. It may sound strange, but the more you endure pain, the more you appreciate the moments of peace, the victories, the joy. You learn not to take those moments for granted because you know what it feels like to suffer. When you finally achieve something you fought for, the reward tastes sweeter precisely because of the pain you endured to get there. The athlete who spends hours training in pain appreciates the victory more than anyone who stood on the sidelines. The person who has gone hungry appreciates a meal in a way others never will. Pain intensifies your gratitude for life itself, for the simple blessings that are too often overlooked. Another lesson that pain brings is resilience. When you learn to endure pain without quitting, you develop mental toughness that nothing else can give you. Every time you push through, you are training your mind to keep going no matter what. That's why some of the strongest people you'll ever meet are not the ones who've had it easy, but the ones who've endured storms, trials, setbacks, and heartbreaks, yet still stand tall. Their strength was forged in fire, their courage shaped by pain. Pain doesn't just test your strength, it builds it. Pain also teaches you about control, specifically what you can and cannot control. When painful situations arise, you quickly realize that you cannot control everything in life. You cannot control how people treat you. You cannot control every circumstance. And you cannot control the storms that come. But you can control how you respond. Pain teaches you that your reaction matters more than the situation itself. You can choose to respond with anger, bitterness, and despair. Or you can choose to respond with strength, perseverance, and hope. That choice, that discipline of controlling your response is what shapes your destiny. Lastly, pain teaches you about purpose. When you endure something hard and come out stronger, you realize that pain was never wasted. It was leading you somewhere. Every tear, every setback, every heartbreak had meaning. It was preparing you for something big. Pain refines your vision, aligns your priorities, and forces you to ask, why am I doing this? What really matters? It strips away the distractions and centers you on your purpose. Many people only discover their calling because of pain. They realize they want to help others, to inspire others, to change the world because of what they themselves went through. So when you face pain, don't run from it. Don't hide from it. Don't curse it. Ask yourself, what lesson is this trying to teach me? What wisdom is hidden inside this hardship? When you embrace pain as a teacher, you gain far more than you lose. The scars you carry are not signs of weakness. They are proof that you survived, that you endured, that you learned, and every scar tells a story of strength, resilience, and growth. Pain is not here to destroy you. It is here to develop you. It is the classroom of champions, the training ground of leaders, the fire that purifies gold. If you can learn to embrace the lessons pain teaches, there is no limit to who you can become. Pain will shape you into someone stronger, wiser, more compassionate, more disciplined, and more resilient than you ever imagined. That is why you must push through, because on the other side of pain lies not just relief, but revelation. And the person you become because of what you endured will always be greater than the pain itself. Pain often feels like the enemy, like something that shows up uninvited to destroy your peace, rob you of your energy, and leave you questioning why you should keep going. But if you look closer, Pain is not just discomfort, it is communication. It is a language your mind and body use to alert you that change is happening. Growth is taking place and transformation is on the horizon. When you learn to listen to pain, not to wallow in it or allow it to paralyze you, but to understand what it is trying to teach, you discover that pain can actually be a teacher, a guide, and even a motivator. The difference between those who stop at pain and those who push through is perspective. One sees pain as a stop sign, the other sees it as a signal that greatness is being built. When you start anything new, whether it's pursuing education, chasing a dream, building a business, or trying to change your body in the gym, you're going to meet pain. It may show up as the ache of rejection, the sting of failure, the heaviness of doubt, or the physical soreness of muscles that have been pushed beyond what they are used to. In those moments, it's easy to think something is wrong, that the pain is a sign you should quit. But pain, more often than not, is proof that you are breaking out of your comfort zone. Growth does not come in stillness or ease. It comes when you stray, when you strain, when you keep pressing, even though it hurts. Just like a seed must crack open in the dark soil before it can rise into the light, you too must break through discomfort before you bloom into the person you are meant to become. Think about athletes. No one becomes a champion without pain. The hours of training, the sweat dripping, the muscles burning, the lungs screaming for air, all of that is pain. But what separates the champions from the average is that champions understand pain is not punishment, it's preparation. The body doesn't get stronger without being challenged. The mind doesn't get tougher without resistance. And the heart doesn't learn resilience without struggle. Every repetition of pain, every setback, every grueling moment is building endurance, strength, and character. If you stop at pain, you stop at progress. But if you lean into it, if you tell yourself, this pain is proof I'm alive, this pain is proof I'm moving forward, then pain loses its power to defeat you and becomes fuel to propel you. Life works the same way. Pain can be emotional, mental, spiritual, or financial. Maybe you've lost someone you love. Maybe you've been betrayed. Maybe you're drowning in debt. Maybe the doors keep closing in your face. Those experiences cut deep and they hurt in ways that are hard to describe. But every scar has a story and every wound can be a teacher. If you let it, pain can teach you resilience, patience, humility, and strength. It can teach you to appreciate joy more deeply when it comes because you know what it feels like to live without it. It can teach you empathy because when you suffer, you are better able to understand the suffering of others. Pain can even teach you purpose because often what breaks you open is the very thing that sets you on the path to your destiny. The problem is that most people resist pain. They run from it, they numb it, they try to escape it. But what you resist persists and what you run from follows you. If you avoid the gym because of the soreness, you stay weak. If you avoid studying because it's mentally exhausting, you stay unprepared. If you avoid relationships because heartbreak hurts, you stay alone. The pain doesn't vanish. It just becomes the prison that holds you. But when you stop running, when you decide to face it, to listen to it, to learn from it, you discover that the pain wasn't there to destroy you, it was there to develop you. Even in the moments when pain seems unbearable, there is a message hidden in it. Think about the pain of failure. It tells you something about what didn't work, what needs to be adjusted, where you need to grow. Think about the pain of rejection. It reveals that maybe you were aiming in the wrong direction, that maybe the opportunity wasn't right for you, or that you need to sharpen your skills and try again. Think about the pain of loss. It whispers that life is fragile, that love is precious, that time should not be wasted. Every kind of pain, if you lean in and ask, what are you here to teach me? Can show you something valuable. But you only gain that wisdom if you stay long enough in the discomfort to hear the lesson. You see, pain sharpens you. Just like fire refines gold, pain refines people. Without fire, gold stays impure, with impurities that limit its value. Without pain, people stay soft, untested, and unaware of their potential. It is through the fiery trials of life that you discover just how strong you really are. That doesn't mean pain is pleasant. It isn't. But pain is purposeful. And if you change your perspective from a why me to a what can I learn from this, you transform suffering into schooling, wounds into wisdom, and heartbreak into hope. The truth is, some of the greatest breakthroughs in history were born from pain. Think of inventors who failed hundreds of times before they succeeded. Each failure brought frustration and disappointment, but it also brought lessons that eventually led to innovation. Think of leaders who faced persecution, betrayal, and setbacks but refused to quit. Their pain birthed movements that changed the world. Even in your own life, think about the times you grew the most. Chances are it wasn't when everything was easy. It was when you were tested, when you cried, when you felt broken but kept moving anyway. Pain was the classroom and life was the teacher. When you start seeing pain this way, something changes inside you. You stop fearing it and you start respecting it. You stop running from it and you start walking with it. You stop seeing it as an enemy and you start embracing it as a mentor. Oneness as a mentor. You realize that every ache, every setback, every sleepless night has a purpose. It's either shaping your character, stretching your abilities, or preparing you for opportunities you don't even see yet. Pain may not be the teacher you want, but it's often the one you needed. So the next time you feel pain, whether it's the burn of muscles in the gym, the heartbreak of a relationship ending, or the disappointment of a dream delay, don't just cry out for it to stop. Pause, breathe, ask yourself, what is this pain trying to teach me? What can I learn here that will make me stronger, wiser, more resilient? And then push through it with the understanding that pain is not permanent. Pain passes, growth remains. And on the other side of pain is a version of you that is stronger, tougher, and more prepared for the life you are building. Pain is not the obstacle. It is the opportunity. It is the classroom where champions are trained, the fire where character is forged, the battlefield where resilience is born. If you can learn to listen to pain, to let it teach you instead of defeat you, there is nothing you cannot overcome. Because the truth is, you were built to endure, you were designed to ride, and you were made to push through. Pain is only the process, it is not the end. Pain has a way of blinding us. It convinces us that the discomfort we feel in the moment is all there is and all there ever will be. But if you can reframe pain, if you can take what hurts and assign it a higher meaning, suddenly it becomes something you can work with rather than something that works against you. Pain in itself is neutral. It is our interpretation of it that makes it either destructive or constructive. When people push through pain with no understanding, no reason, and no purpose, pain feels like punishment. But when you give pain meaning, when you tell yourself that this pain is building me, it becomes a teacher, a trainer, even a motivator. The body may feel the sting, the mind may scream for relief, but the spirit, when aligned with purpose, can rise above the temporary suffering. Think about the way an athlete trains. Every repetition burns. Every sprint pulls oxygen from their lungs. Every weight lifted strains their muscles to the limit. On the surface, it looks like suffering. But the athlete doesn't interpret it as punishment. They interpret it as progress. They understand that pain is the cost of growth, the down payment on greatness. That meaning reframes the entire experience. The lactic acid in muscles isn't just pain, it's a signal of growth. The shortness of breath isn't just discomfort, it's proof of endurance being built. The aches and soreness the next day aren't signs to quit. They are receipts of progress. When you reframe pain as proof that you are becoming stronger, you find the courage to keep going when others fold. The same applies to life outside the gym or the field. When you're building a business, when you're studying for exams, when you're grinding in silence with no applause, the emotional and mental pain can feel suffocating. But what if you shifted the meaning? What if instead of saying, this is too hard, maybe I'm not cut out for it, you told yourself, this is what it feels like to grow. This is what it feels like to separate myself from average. Suddenly the pressure transforms. Pain, instead of being a wall, becomes a compass. It points you in the direction where your growth lies. Because pain shows up where you're being stretched, where you're leaving the old you behind to become someone stronger, smarter, more resilient. Think about all the people who quit right when things got hard. They saw pain as a sign to stop. But those who reframe pain see it as a test. Can I hold on a little longer? Can I endure just a little more than the person next to me? That mindset separates the average from the elite. The average seek comfort and call pain unfair. The elite reframe pain and call it tuition for greatness. They know there's always a price to be paid, and pain is often that price. Reframing pain also requires gratitude. Gratitude for the fact that you are even in a position to feel it. Some people don't get the chance to train their bodies because of illness. Some don't get the chance to chase dreams because of circumstances. But if you can feel the sting of failure, if you can feel the weight of hard work, it means you are still in the game. Pain, in this way, is proof of life. Proof that you are moving, stretching, attempting. Instead of resenting it, thank it. Thank the pain for sharpening you. Thank the pain for testing your commitment. Thank the pain for separating you from those who quit too soon. There are people who transform pain into stories of defeat, and there are others who transform it into stories of triumph. The only difference is perspective. A setback can either be seen as the end of the road or as the bend in the road. That choice lies in how you frame it. If you tell yourself, this pain means I'm not meant for this, you give it power to stop you. If instead you tell yourself, this pain means I'm getting closer to my breakthrough, you give it power to push you. One mindset weakens you, the other strengthens you. You must also understand that reframing pain doesn't mean ignoring it or pretending it doesn't hurt. Pain is real. It stings, it drains. But reframing it means you decide what story that pain tells. For example, a runner who feels their legs burning at mile 20 could say, I'm breaking down, I can't go on. Or they could say, this is exactly what it feels like to break through limits. If it hurts this much, I must be close. The pain hasn't changed, but the meaning has. And that meaning will determine whether they quit or finish. Think of people who have lost everything, who went through heartbreak, illness, failure. The pain could have destroyed them, but many reframed it. They saw it as a fuel to rebuild, as the spark for reinvention. The loss of a job became the reason to finally start a business. The failure in school became the motivation to study harder and achieve more. The heartbreak became the lesson that matured them into wiser, more compassionate people. Every painful chapter became a stepping stone because they reframed it. Without that reframing, those same events could have left them bitter, broken, and defeated. Pain is unavoidable, but misery is optional. The difference lies in interpretation. When you give pain a higher purpose, it empowers you. When you tell yourself, this pain is not here to destroy me, but to prepare me, you stop fighting against it and start working with it. And that's the key. Pain reframed is not the enemy, it's an ally. It becomes the personal trainer that won't let you settle for less than your best. It becomes the tough coach that demands more from you because it sees more in you. So the next time you face pain, pause and ask yourself, what does this mean? Is it proof that I'm not good enough? Or is it proof that I'm on the right path? Is it a signal to quit? Or is it a signal to dig deeper? The answer you choose will shape your destiny. If you reframe pain as the path to growth, as the furnace that forges your strength, you will find yourself rising above circumstances others crumble under. At the end of the day, pain is a story you tell yourself. And if you tell the right story, pain won't stop you. It will shape you. The sting of sacrifice, the weight of discipline, the burn of hard work, none of it's punishment. It's progress in disguise. Reframe it, embrace it, and let it carry you to levels of greatness you never thought possible. Pain has a way of clouding vision, of making even the strongest among us question whether moving forward is worth it. But the secret to enduring pain, to pushing through it with resilience, lies in keeping your eyes fixed on the end goal. When you're locked into your vision, when you've already decided that the destination matters more than the discomfort, the pain becomes something you can manage rather than something that masters you. This keynote isn't about ignoring pain or pretending it doesn't exist. It's about shifting the focus so that pain isn't the driver of your decisions, but rather a passenger you acknowledge on the journey. When you can hold on to the bigger picture, the pain becomes just a temporary toll you pay on the way to greatness. Think of an athlete training for the Olympics. Every early morning, every sore muscle, every bruise is real. The pain doesn't magically disappear because they're talented. The only thing that allows them to keep going when their body screams to stop is the vision of standing on that podium, hearing their anthem and knowing they gave everything. That image of victory has to be stronger than the temptation to quit. If the athlete loses sight of that vision, the pain takes over. If they hold the vision close, the pain becomes fuel. In life, we're no different. The pain of long nights, failed attempts, or personal sacrifices doesn't vanish, but our vision can put the pain in its proper place. Temporary, not permanent. Pain without purpose is unbearable. But when pain has a purpose, it becomes a tool. That's why keeping your end goal in mind is not just motivational advice. It's a survival strategy. If you wake up every day facing challenges without reminding yourself of why you're doing it, the challenges will feel heavier, the road will feel longer, and your energy will drain faster. The mind plays tricks when pain sets in. It whispers lies. You can't do this. It's not worth it. Stop now. But a clear vision acts like a compass, pointing you forward when every other signal says turn back. Consider someone going through medical rehabilitation after a devastating accident. The pain of every movement can be excruciating, but many push through because they have a vision, walking again, holding their child, living independently. That picture of what life could look like after recovery keeps them showing up for therapy even when the sessions feel brutal. Their vision reminds them that pain is not punishment, but the price of progress. The same principle applies to careers, dreams, relationships, and personal growth. When you hold a strong vision, you remind yourself that the suffering you feel today is temporary, but the reward can last a lifetime. People often fall short, not because the pain is greater than others have faced, but because their vision isn't clear enough. If your goal is vague, I just want to be successful, or I just want to be happy, it's easy to let pain knock you off track because there's no sharp image pulling you forward. But when the goal is defined, when you can see it vividly in your mind, like buying your first home, building your own business, earning that degree, or transforming your body, the vision creates a form of mental gravity that pulls you through resistance. It doesn't make the pain lighter, but it makes your will stronger. This is why athletes often visualize before big competitions and why entrepreneurs map out detailed plans for their companies. The clearer the picture, the more powerful the pull. In those moments when pain feels like it's taking over, the vision becomes the voice that says, you didn't come this far to quit now. That's the strength of perspective. The pain becomes part of the journey rather than a reason to stop. Without vision, pain is an obstacle. With vision, pain is simply a stepping stone. Think of people who endure extreme training, soldiers, firefighters, or even marathon runners. They push their bodies to breaking points, not because they enjoy suffering, but because they know what's on the other side. For a soldier, it might be protecting their country or saving lives. For a runner, it could be crossing that finish line for the first time or proving to themselves they can conquer the impossible. The vision gives the pain meaning, and when pain has meaning, endurance becomes possible. There's also a psychological truth at play here. Pain is processed by the mind as much as it is by the body. When you focus only on what you're feeling in the moment, pain feels larger than life. But when your mind is absorbed in the vision, the end goal, the brain reframes the discomfort as part of the story. Imagine climbing a mountain. Halfway up, your legs ache, your lungs burn, and the summit looks impossibly far. But if you remind yourself of the view waiting at the top, the story you'll tell when you've conquered it, your mind reframes the pain as progress. Every step hurts, but every step also brings you closer. That shift in perspective is everything. When you commit to holding on to your vision, it also gives you something to measure pain against. Temporary struggles begin to feel smaller in comparison to the scale of your dream. A few sleepless nights don't matter when you're building the business that will change your family's future. Rejection from one opportunity doesn't matter when your vision is to build a career defined by perseverance. Pain shrinks in size when the dream is massive. That's why the vision has to be bold. Small goals don't have the power to outshine pain, but big visions, those ones that light your soul on fire, make pain seem insignificant in the grand scheme. It's also important to realize that keeping your eyes on the vision doesn't mean you won't feel the weight of pain. It means you've decided the vision is heavier. More important, more worthy, pain may bend you, but vision keeps you from breaking. Pain may slow you down, but vision keeps you moving. Pain may blind you temporarily, but vision gives you sight even in the darkness. When your vision is locked in, pain no longer has the final word. The people who inspire us most in life, leaders, innovators, survivors, are rarely the ones who had the easiest journeys. They're the ones who endure pain but stay focused on their end goal. They're the ones who understood that the pain was temporary, but the reward was permanent. They refused to let the present discomfort cancel out the future they imagined. That's the kind of resilience that comes from vision. So when you face your own moments of pain, whether physical, emotional, or mental, don't let the pain dictate your steps. Let your vision lead. Picture the outcome so vividly that the pain pales in comparison. Train your mind to focus on where you're going, not just where you are. Remind yourself that pain is a chapter, not the whole story. And remember, pain is always temporary, but the pride of reaching your vision lasts forever. The reward, the sense of accomplishment, the transformation you achieve, it all outweighs the pain you push through. Your vision isn't just a dream. It's the anchor that steadies you in the storm, the compass that directs you through the darkness, and the fire that burns brighter than any pain you'll ever feel. Pain is inevitable. Every single person who has ever achieved greatness, who has ever pushed boundaries, who has ever reached a level of success that seemed impossible has faced pain. And the truth is, pain is not your enemy. It is your teacher, your trainer, your guide. It shows up in your life to test you, to shape you, to reveal what you are made of. The question is not whether you will face it. It is when. And more importantly, the question is, what will you do when it arrives? Will you let it break you, or will you let it build you? Will you run from it, or will you push through it with everything you got? When you push through pain, you begin to see that every moment of discomfort, every failure, every heartbreak, every setback is not a dead end. It is a stepping stone. It is the crucible where your character is full. It is the arena where your resilience is tested. You learn that pain is temporary, but the strength, wisdom, and courage you gain from enduring it are permanent. Every time you push through, you redefine what is possible for yourself. Every time you refuse to quit, you add another layer to your foundation. Pain is not the opposite of progress. Pain is the proof that progress is happening. The first step to pushing through pain is understanding it. Pain tells you something about your limits, your weaknesses, and your untapped potential. It exposes the areas where you must grow. It highlights the places where you are strong, where you are resilient, and where you can dig deeper than you thought possible. Instead of resisting pain, instead of asking a why, ask, what is this teaching me? How can I use this to become stronger? Once you view pain as a teacher rather than a tormentor, your entire perspective changes. What once felt unbearable begins to feel purposeful. Strength is born from struggle. Every muscle in your body grows because it is challenged. Every skill you master, every challenge you overcome,